Level 1, you find it under the bench. A battered leather case, cold metal latch. Your breath fogs in the late air. There are no names, just weight. You pick it up. It feels like a promise or a threat. You flip the latches. They click like a verdict. The lid opens. Stacks of bills. Neat. Flat. Too neat. Green edges like teeth. Your pulse stutters. You count without realising. 1,000. 10,000. A lot. More than you've ever held. Your palms sweat. You look around. Empty park. Street lamp buzzing. A distant dog. Your heart loud in your ears. You close the case. You set it on your lap. You weigh options like contraband. Leave it. Walk away. Hand it in. Pocket the key. Escape. You test the weight of decision. It pulls you down. You stand. The case moves with you. You walk. Slow. The city hums. You pass neon and gutter. Every shadow looks like an eye. You tuck the case under your coat. A shape that could be freedom. Or a noose. You tell yourself one rational thing. You'll decide at home. Level 2, at the kitchen table, you open it again. The light is harsher inside. Bills bark crystalline. You run a thumb over a face. No fingerprints. Nothing personal. But there is guilt like residue. Your phone flashes messages. Unknown number. No call history. You slide a bill out. It smells like ink and a story. You imagine what you could do. Pay rent. Fix the radiator. Buy time. Pay someone back. You imagine safety. You imagine temptation turning into a ledger of lies. Your reflection in the window looks unfamiliar. Eyes rimmed with decisions. You hide a note in your pocket. Find out where it came from. You call a friend. You tell a lie. You say you found it. You don't say where. Curiosity becomes an accomplice. Your friend says the obvious. Call the police. You hear sirens somewhere. Far. The briefcase sits like a secret. You turn it over. There's a small stain on the leather. Red if you squint. You tell yourself it's coffee. You tell yourself 1,000 practical things. But practicality feels thin. Like tissue paper stretched over an abyss. You hide the case in the closet. You lock the door. You sleep with your phone on the nightstand. You dream of footsteps. Level 3. You wake to a knock. 3 quick taps. You freeze. You tell yourself it's nothing. Then another knock. Harder. You walk to the door. 2 figures in the hallway. They ask for a man you know. Wrong name. Too specific. You feel the closet. A tug at your breath. The voices leave, not satisfied. You lock the deadbolt. Hands still shaking. You check the case. It's there. Solid. A heartbeat's distance away. You realise hiding it has a cost. Someone else knows its existence. How many someones? You start to see patterns. A car that idles too long below. A shadow on the curtain. A scent of diesel in the laundry. You call the number on an old receipt. No answer. A scraped edge of panic. You go out to look. Your neighbour, the older man, watches you too long. His smile thin as wire. He points to the street. 2 men walk by and glance up. You catch their eyes. They smile without warmth. You know that smile. It belongs to danger. You run back home. Level 4. You try to do the right thing. You drive to the police station. The fluorescent lights wash you out. You approach the desk. You say you found a briefcase. You hand it over. They take it. Paperwork. Questions. They ask where you found it. You say the park. You leave out the part about the men. You want anonymity. The officer thanks you. He files it. You breathe. Relief flares. Until the call at midnight. They say, come to the station. Your name comes without ceremony. You arrive. The case is there on a table. Open now under harsh light. Not neat. Not anonymous. There are serial numbers. Foreign ink. And a ledger. Names. Dates. payments. You are not just the finder, you are a link. They ask about your bank account, your phone records. They want your keys. You falter. You are pushed into rooms with other people who found things. You sit in a chair made of thin questions. You answer because you must. They say, someone else claimed ownership. They say, organised crime. They say, stolen money. Your stomach drops. You become evidence. The briefcase leaves in evidence tape. So do you. You walk into a reality with walls and doors that close behind you. Level 5. News spreads. The headline is small at first, but it grows. You see your face in a grainy photo. Neighbours whisper. Your landlord avoids you. Strangers ask if you're the one who stole the case. You become a rumour with 2 legs. Letters arrive. No return address. One reads, "We know." Another, "Keep what belongs to us." A photo of your building. Someone is watching. You change routines. You sleep in a different bed. You change your locks. You call in favours. You offer money for silence. It costs more than the briefcase. You stare at strangers in mirrors. They blink first. You bargain with your conscience. At a bus stop, a man sits beside you. He doesn't speak. He watches your hands. Then he passes you a card. No name, just 4 numbers, an address. You go, because curiosity is a cheaper death. You find an empty warehouse, a single bulb in the middle, a footprint on the floor. Your breath shakes. A voice says, "You shouldn't have been the one." You turn. A face you half know. A gun on the table. A ledger opened. Your name in ink. The man slides it to you. He says, "We need it back." You feel the meaning of back, as if the word were a trapdoor. You try to explain. You try to bargain. He laughs, a hard sound. He says the only truth. Money always pulls its people back to it. Level 6, you make a choice. No dramatic speeches, just one heavy decision. You put the money in a bag. You walk out into dawn. You hand it over at the corner of a bakery. A hand reaches into the bag. A thumb rubs a bill. It's colder than you thought. They count. Satisfied. They nod once. You turn to go. A whistle splits the air. Police swarm the block, flashes like teeth. You freeze. The man turns and runs. You are left holding nothing but a hoodie string. They arrest him. You are taken to a bench. They ask questions again. They say, "You assisted." You say, "I tried to return it." They read a different script, one where your footprints dance on wet cement. You watch the footage on a screen. You too, close to the camera. You too present at the handoff. You are a frame in a reel. They charge you with possession and with failure. Level 7. The trial is slow like winter. The room smells of coffee and old paper. Witnesses speak in dry, impartial clocks. Your life becomes testimony. You listen to your name pronounced like a foreign object. Friends you thought you had are character witnesses. They lie with kind eyes. You lose more than freedom. You lose the space to be innocent. Your defense is a narrow thing. An explanation. A motive. Motive looks like greed on the stand. Guilt wears many faces. Your hands in photographs look guilty. Your lawyer says, "Plea bargain." It tastes like defeat, but the alternative tastes like a cell. You sign. You walk out lighter in body, heavier in soul. You go home to an apartment that feels like a rented season. You try to sleep. You hear a child outside playing. A small life goes on. You promise yourself, when this is over. Level 8. The consequences are not only bars. They are phone calls unanswered. A job you can't get. The landlord sells the building. You move into a smaller room with thinner walls. You take jobs that pay cash. You learn to listen for footsteps, but the real cost is quieter. You can't unsee the ledger. You can't unhear the man laugh. Money taught you its gravity. You realise the briefcase did not make you brave. It made you visible. It made your small miseries a public ledger. Years later, you pass the park, a bench, sunlit. A child chases a moth, right? You sit. A stranger sits beside you. He asks you why you did it. There is a long breath. You tell him the truth, because finally you can. You say, I wanted to fix things. I wanted a life that fit. But there is a price for borrowed luck. He asks, did it change you? You smile without teeth. You say, it changed everything. You carry the story like a scar. And sometimes at night you count bills in your sleep. You wake and remember the quiet fact. There is always someone keeping score, and they keep it in ink, in a ledger. You close your eyes. You don't want to be the one who finds anything again. You do not want another briefcase, but you keep a small coin in your pocket, a reminder that choices are heavy, that consequences arrive on time. You stand. The child laughs. You walk away. The city swallows your shadow. And the case, wherever it went, keeps its own secrets. You keep yours.